Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the boys picked up 3 points, but it's probably too little too late against City. Chelsea keeps winning. Tottenham keeps winning. Liverpool keeps losing, and Arsenal are inconsistent. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're hearing this from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from 4 friends who support different clubs. My name is James, and I support Arsenal. Next to me is Brad. He is a Chelsea Football Club supporter. Down below me is Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspur. And still in the corner, diagonally away from me, the most melancholy man in world football, the most sad, depressed, disappointed man. Tamzi, our resident Liverpool supporter. I think he's on his way to the psychiatric ward to take some time off and figure out his emotions on everything. But boys, how we doing? How's everyone feeling? Pain, clearly. Anyone else feeling anything?
Also pain.
I'm feeling great.
Okay,
I don't know why Sean is feeling pain.
Time out. Sean.
Did you watch the Fulham game?
Bro, you have 3 wins in a row.
They weren't fun to watch.
Okay, but you won. Machiavelli, you won.
Man.
The fun one was the more recent one. I'm looking at the Fulham stats.
Well,
it was the Palace game.
Let's look at the table, because of course United did get that win against City, but it's still 11 points. Leicester's in 3rd. Chelsea's up to 4th, though West Ham. Picture someone thinking that has a game in hand on Chelsea and can overtake them. Tottenham's up to 7th, just above Liverpool, who's in 8th. Arsenal still in 10th, forever 10th. Kind of the bottom half of the table looks exactly the same, with one slight change near the bottom. Newcastle has a point over Brighton, and Brighton and Fulham are equal on points at 26, though Brighton has a game in hand, as does Newcastle. Sheffield and West Brom still very much dead. But yeah, that Fulham-Brighton point tally could get interesting as we finish out this season. Couple things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about clearly the Manchester Derby, Chelsea and their good run of form, Tottenham and their good run of form, even though somebody, Debbie Downer below me, for some reason is...
one of them. Just one of them.
Crazy. And then we're going to kind of talk about how garbage Arsenal and Liverpool are. Quickly hit on relegation, and if we have some time, we might talk about European football before we look to this weekend's games. But let's start first at the City of Manchester Stadium, formerly known as the Etihad. I said that poorly, but in my mind there were commas there that made that sentence factually correct. So United takes a 2-0 win over City, kind of against the run of, I would say, you talk about football, they scored against the run of play. Kind of like United got a win against the run of play in terms of the league. But yeah, this is one of the first games that United showed up to in terms of games against Big Six, and they got all 3 points. What do you guys think?
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
That's kind of what I think too.
United tied their last 2 games, thus fundamentally proving that they still can only play 1 game a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously too little too late.
It's just really funny, dude. If they don't get a penalty, the level of football they present is just the single most dire thing I've ever seen. Yeah. I watched the first half of that Palace game, and I think I genuinely wanted to hang myself afterwards. That was so bad.
Wait 3 minutes in and get the mature rating out.
Yeah, that was so bad. Oof. The penalties dry out, and this is the quality of football they have to present.
Yeah, City bullied them. City controlled the game. City, if it wasn't for
2/3 possession. Yeah,
if it wasn't for a second minute penalty, and then I think Cancelo got skinned on the second goal at midfield. For whatever reason, he went into a tackle at midfield and let Luke Shaw, of all people, skin him.
Yeah, Jesus with the forwards challenge.
Yeah, what are you doing,
that
man?
Penalty. What are you doing?
2 minutes into the game? Get out of the 18-yard box. Let your defenders do something. Just go be by midfield.
And then we'll hear about this in a Bruno Fernandes interview later. How he scored a penalty against a big club. He was shamelessly talking about how he scored a penalty against Spurs. And I'm like, you lost that game 6-1.
I did hear that.
What are you saying?
I was
What a guy.
What a guy!
I had to think back. I was like, wait a minute.
He was like,
We played them
well,
the second
you
time?
say I don't do well against the Big Six. Well, I scored a penalty. I scored against Spurs. Like, did you bragging about a penalty scored in the 6-1 loss?
How many penalties has he scored this year? Like
A lot.
7, 8, 9, something like that?
Yeah.
Something absurd. But of course, he is the greatest ever January signing in English football history. You guys need to remember that. Put some respect on his name. With a K. Respect with a K.
It's just really funny. Like, I don't know where the man, Bruno Fernandes' PR team is the dream team.
It's Mesut Ozil, then Fernandes.
Yeah, right? Because he's just oh man, I just don't get it. Like every day it's like, oh, another misplaced pass from Bruno Fernandes. That's a rarity. How is it a rarity if it happens every time?
Multiple times.
Who is feeding these lines? Like,
it's amazing how the English media has gassed him up.
Right? It's just, oh man, I just genuinely don't get it. I don't get it.
Okay, well we can't spend 45 minutes trashing Bruno Fernandes.
I don't think he's a bad player.
Yes,
but you guys are right. He is just so overhyped that it makes you want to be like, get out of here with this.
Like, he's a solid player, but there are multiple times in a game where I look at him and he tries to do some fantastic stuff, and the ball just sails over out of bounds or goes directly to the opposing player, and you're like, okay, maybe the simple pass. Fred was wide open. You don't need to pass to whoever. I just don't get it.
He seems like his PR team is unmatched.
I wonder if he's as frustrating as a United fan, like, to watch, or do you just kind of like gloss over that because of the rose-tinted glasses that we?
Oh, dude, that team's whole fan base is deeply in the mud. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. I think whatever remnants of Ferguson's mentality that was in that club, the like pure winning mentality, is just driven out that club. They are completely content with like, oh, we delayed City's inevitable title win by 1 game.
Yeah.
Like, whatever mentality was there got absolutely panned out. Like
Jesse Lingard talking about how, the Emirates is his dance floor or something like that.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Good for you.
Okay. Good for you. There's that FIFA glitch video where it's like they lift up an empty trophy. There's nothing.
Yes.
I thought that was for Spurs fans only.
It's a glitch video. It's like, it doesn't.
All right.
Well, the one before we leave, for just one more quick point, is a few years ago when Kane was scoring all the penalties and Spurs fans took a lot of flack for that. My response was always, he's the only one good enough to take them. And it's just not true with Fernandes when you have a team with Pogba and Rashford and Marshall. There's other people that can take them. It's not just him that is the only one that can take them.
Well, to be fair, I think Rashford missed like 3 in a row at the beginning of the season.
Oh, I think you're right.
Last season. Right. I think it was last season. Yeah, he missed like 3 in a row.
I do remember that. So he's probably banned from the spot.
Yeah, he's probably banned from the spot.
And Pogba's trying to run out of Manchester still. He just can't get out.
Nobody wants Paul Pogba. There's no Paul Pogba shaped hole for anybody to fill with. And it's like Eriksen. Nobody wanted Eriksen the summer he wanted to leave. Like,
And his problem is if he's not playing, he's not convincing anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if he strung together like 6 months of like really sensational football and then went to the Euros and had a really good Euros this summer, like you could convince a Real Madrid to be like, okay, maybe Pogba is still good. Or you could convince PSG or something like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, Real Madrid are currently trying to extend Modric's contract by 1 year. That just tells you how little they value like Paul Pogba. If Paul Pogba's only got a year left on his contract, they still don't want him.
Yeah, I think this was probably right before the transfer, but he had a really good World Cup, didn't he? Or am I misremembering that?
Bro,
I thought I
World
remember
Cup was 3 years ago.
Yeah, but that's probably right before his United transfer, right?
No,
it was
he had a after. Yeah.
Okay.
But he partner was Conte, so you can kind of do whatever you want when you have Conte right next to you.
So he had Mbappe, Giroud, and Griezmann up front. Prime Griezmann up front.
The only reason that France did as well as they did is because of Giroud and his hold-up play.
Yes.
They played 100% target man ball, and he won like 100% of the balls flung at him.
It was prime Griezmann.
Well, last week we talked about international. We talked about international games, and like when Germany won, it basically was Bayern plus a little bit of one or two here, and then when Spain won, it basically was a combination of Barca and Madrid, and then France just trotted out. They could have trotted out. If you took the third team of France, they probably would have made it out of the knockout stage in that World Cup.
Yeah, it's because France has a centralized training academy. Like all their players come from one place, Clairefontaine. Like they have one building that they all come from.
I was just
they've been playing there since they're like 8, and they moved to clubs when they're like 16.
I don't know if I'd be able to find it now, but when somebody put out the 11 that would be their third, 11, I was like, Jesus.
Dude, their bench was like Quarantine Tolisso, Ousmane Dembele, like
it was super deep.
Fire.
It was super deep.
All right. Well, I didn't want to hang up on it too much, so.
Oh, it was an appropriate amount of hang up on that. So, Brad, you've been real quiet. Tell us about Chelsea.
My boy's getting it done. We just keep on turning. Tuchel has us on 11 straight without a loss, and I think 9 of them were clean sheets. Mendy's might pass Ederson here for most
bro.
clean sheets.
I remember when Lampard was doing that too.
Hey, you're not wrong. He's still doing. It's funny because like the lineup still isn't settled. But we're winning, so it's like
it's because Brad doesn't know enough football to see like foresight of where this is going.
You're not wrong.
The inevitable brick wall he's gonna run into.
As a quick aside, Brad, whatever you say, Tamzid's gonna say, "Well, I remember when Kepa was the best goalkeeper in the league," or I remember when Fat Frank had a 2-month streak of undefeats. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
but
like
whatever you say, just be prepared. It's gonna be.
I know. Well, and to be fair, when this happened, I said that like we will eventually hit the wall.
These are all predictable wins, right? Like I told you we're getting clapped at Anfield 2-0, and a bogus off. What was the reason?
Offside.
Called off? Offside? Foul? Whatever. Yeah, whatever. We got clapped 2-0 at Anfield, right? Like it's blatant. Like these are all games that are like predictably you're gonna win. It's when you're gonna run into City next week. Is it next week? Next week, right?
I was actually looking now to see because they were on their new manager bump, and I'm wondering when that bump is going to be done because now they're
gonna run into a team that's like actually like organized and settled and like play well. They're gonna get clapped, and that confidence gets sapped, and then it's gonna be like a bunch of iffy results.
So that's not
until teeter over the line in
so here's the summer. Here's their upcoming games in the league. I'm going to skip over Champions League and I'm going to skip over FA Cup. They go Leeds at home, West Brom away, Palace at home, Brighton away. Then they have West Ham at home. Then it's Fulham. Then finally City, Arsenal, Leicester.
Wait, I think you have that backwards.
It's a really tough run-in. He just looked it up online, Brad. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their upcoming games.
His home away is messed up.
Oh, his home away might be messed up, but
Is the bottom team's not the home team?
The home and away is an irrelevant fucking point.
I know.
No fans. You're right.
But in soccer, it's home away. That's all.
So the top team listed is the home team.
Either way, they go Leeds, West Brom, Palace, Brighton, West Ham, Fulham, and then finally...
The issue is that they're a debilitating loss away from fucking confidence happening. But I guess it's just a brick wall that you see.
So
I guess...
Go for it, bro.
Does it happen at Atleti or at Bridge when Atleti comes? Does it happen at West Ham or City? Because if we get through Atleti...
Fucking happen at Atletico.
I know. I'm asking this question though, because if not, then the next real game is really April 24th against West Ham. If West Ham's still performing, and then City on May 8th. So that's another.
And then you got Arsenal after that. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention you could just drop Bayern and get clapped.
2 weeks.
Correct.
That's
you could easily get like a Bayern or a PSG and get absolutely smoked.
Correct.
And then you're gonna be, and that's your fucking, because the core group of players haven't changed. Rudiger didn't grow a brain overnight. He's still an idiot. Still an idiot.
I'm so glad Sumo played.
He's still an idiot. Like fucking Mendy still can't play the ball. Like the issues didn't go away. You're just playing teams you should be beating, and you're beating them.
Which is important.
Form has been good.
Which is important, is important.
Tamsi, if we were looking at our two teams, then like we're not beating teams that we should be beating, and that's the reason why Chelsea's in fourth.
Are we? Bro, like, let's be honest here. No. I've been predicting a series of losses that have been coming.
I refuse to believe that Arsenal should be letting Burnley take 4 points off us over the course of the season. No, I refuse to accept it. Put that fun.
But I mean, this was honestly our toughest part of the schedule for a while, though. We had Atleti, United, Liverpool, Everton, back to back.
Yeah, that's a tough run, and you guys did really well through those.
Right. So, like, assuming we don't get super clapped in champs,
Tamzid is going to discount the Liverpool game. He's going to
and the Atletico game, because I predicted both of them to be like sound Chelsea victories, because they're just after a while you learn to read patterns in this game, right? And once you figure out patterns, it becomes really easy to predict games. And so that's how I knew Juventus were going to lose. I knew Juventus were going to lose. They just weren't going to do it. That's why I knew Atletico weren't going to do it either. They just don't have that it's just, I don't know. It's just something intrinsic that comes after watching the game for years on end. That's why I knew Liverpool weren't going to beat Chelsea. We just weren't going to beat Chelsea. And I knew we weren't going to beat Fulham either. It's just...
Were you expecting losses in both of those games, though?
Yes! Yes!
I think that this is just... Maybe we'll get to this when we talk about our teams, but I think this is just a overzealous pessimism that's...
No, this isn't overzealous pessimism. This is... I know we'll clap Leipzig tomorrow. I just know we'll beat them 3-4-0. It's going to be an embarrassment.
Brad, is Chelsea going to finish in the top 4?
Yes. But I said that from the beginning, even with Fat Frank.
I don't think you did say that. I think if we pull the tapes out.
At the very beginning of this podcast, I said top 4. In the middle, I may have questioned it. But at the beginning, I said top 4.
Yeah, I think there were a couple weeks in there where
there was a few weeks in there. No,
I hope so, but I don't think so.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, Sean, 3 wins in a row, 2 wins since we last spoke, and if I'm going to
2.5 wins.
Hold on, nope, 6 points. I'm gonna go back and I think quote you because you said you were gonna draw 0-0 to Fulham, right? That was what you said, and then Palace is gonna beat us, right?
Yes.
So you guys barely beat Fulham, 1-0 own goal, but a win is a win. So you beat
played
Fulham.
Awful.
Who cares? Win is a win. 3 points, and then you beat Palace 4-1. My boy.
That was surprising.
My boy Gary. Gary is the truth, right?
He's playing well. I don't know if it's confidence, if it's too cold to golf. I don't know what the story is, but if I had to guess, It's removing himself from Madrid and starting to feel comfortable, in shape, fit again. And then it's confidence, because you don't. I mean, there's a reason there was a 60-year-old Peter Crouch. You don't forget those things. You may not be physically able to do them, but so Bale's still going to be world class, talent wise. Now, is he going to be as fast as he always was? Probably not. But he still has the skill to finish if he's in the right position. So that's going to be there.
Yeah. It's I guess your point is himself getting into those positions and physically. I mean I agree with you that I think that not playing for almost 2 years will severely impact someone's mentality.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, like, I was expecting Bale to be doing this all season with y'all, just because he's a class player. But I wonder how out of shape he was, or like not match fit. I wonder how bad it was. Because if you're not playing for almost 2 years and you're just training every day, like there's a gap that forms.
Yeah, there is. And then of course Russ too, and then new teammates that you have to get used to, and a new league that he hasn't played in what's it been, 8 years?
Yeah,
so like 7-8 years. So he has to remember how to play against the Premier League, because it's a different style than playing Levante. Yeah.
Yep, that was good.
Yeah,
that was good. Brad, you never get to shake your head yes on a pronunciation.
You missed Marshall earlier, though.
I heard Marshall, and I just let it pass.
But if I said it,
well, that's because you have a track record, Brad.
Sean's
I did say Marshall.
Yes.
RCR.
Sean's getting closer. I understand.
So, sorry, Anthony.
But anyways,
as an aside, and I know that you can't see Tamseed, but every time one of these guys misspeaks, I just look directly at you. I'm like, oh.
I know. Are we saying something? Are we going for this? No. Okay, moving on.
All right. I just let it go. Also, like, I don't know why Sean's bitching about 1-0 wins. Dude, 1-0 wins are the cornerstone of confidence-building performances. You play bad and you still win. That's it. And Spurs deserved to win. It wasn't like they didn't deserve to win. They deserved to win. It just was really hard. And that's the reason why Liverpool can't get out of their fucking rut. Because we either win 4-0 against fucking Sheffield, or we get clapped like by Fulham. Like, it's because it's not a confidence-building performance.
Yeah,
so that's why, like, those are the bread and butter results. 2-1, 1-0. Yeah, let's go.
Arsenal.
Mourinho getting ready for that League Cup final.
That's a Mourinho win, bro. Yeah, that's what you get. You're going to win games. It's just going to be ugly, ugly football.
We just shouldn't be in a dogfight with the relegation team.
The thing is, fucking Mourinho teams have also played champagne fucking football. The quality of football you play is on the confidence of your players, right? Are you telling me, what is it? 14-15 Chelsea played hideous football?
No.
Are you going to sit there and tell me that on a straight face? You think like Hazard and Fabregas were fucking playing side passes to each other? No. That shit was beautiful to fucking watch, because the players had like confidence to do it. And the only way you build confidence is by playing out these grindy 1-0, right? You know how many 1-0s Arsene Wenger's had? Like, you need that. And Arsene Wenger doesn't play negative football. It's such a... I hate that pragmatism is associated with negative ball. Like, Burnley play negative ball, not Mourinho. Mourinho plays pragmatic ball.
Okay, but I think that Mourinho developed a name for himself, or like his style. Like, people colloquially refer to his style, and you might call it pragmatic. Other people talk about like parking the bus. You know, Chelsea.
Mourinho didn't park the bus. He literally coined the term on somebody else, on Spurs. Actually.
No, so like Chelsea's, what was it like? What was it? You guys conceded like 13 goals. Was that like 05? Something like that.
04, 05.
04, 05. Yeah. Where like they were just impossible to break down. Like, and so people look back on that 16 years later, and they see like teams when they're being defensive, it's just like a block of 10, and they're like, oh, they must be parking. And so I think that I think that sometimes people are easy to conflate like good defending with parking the bus.
Yeah, like with parking the bus, like or pragmatic just, football with just defensive football.
Like allowing the opponent to have possession, because like Mourinho said this against when in the most recent North London derby where Spurs won 2-0, I think it was. Mourinho was like, yeah, we were happy to let Arsenal have all of the ball. It was fine. They weren't going to do anything with it.
Yeah, and if you block out the spaces, there's nothing to do.
But even still, like Mourinho was confident in the fact that and this was when Arsenal couldn't find a goal to save our life. He was like, they could have all of the possession, they can have 50 crosses. They're just not going to do anything with it because A, they have no confidence, and B, they're not designed as a football team to score this way. And so he's just like, yeah, cool, let them play like that. And and people rail on that because it's not Wenger, like just one touch. It's not it's not high intensity football. And so like I can understand the dismay at watching it sometimes, but I would trade Arsenal's league position for Tottenham's league position right now. I would trade all of these shithouse 1-0 victories that Tottenham, like I would do that in a second.
And it's like, and the thing is like, Jurgen Klopp played horrendous football the last 2 years. We were playing do you know how many dire games of football we had? Because it's like, it's more relevant, like, because eventually it just muddles into that way. When your team's not confident, it just looks terrible. And then when they're on their pump, it's like, oh, look, liquid football, right? And like on your point, I think Mourinho said that to Guardiola too, when they played City. Not the second time, the first time when they won.
Yeah, the one he said we were the better team.
Yeah, when he was like, no, and when I think the journo asked him that, like City had like 73% possession, and he was like, good, Guardiola can take the ball home with him.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I did want to say to your point. I think it was largely through the 2000s, but me and my buddy used to call it a Fergie win when you score 2 second-half goals and win 2-1 or 3-2.
Yeah,
where you just knew it was going to happen.
Ferguson was the biggest terrorist of this league.
We know that it's called Fergie time, right?
Fergie time.
Good Lord,
like 2 second-half goals and they're going to win. That's it.
He played Raphael and Park Ji-sung as wingers in a Champions League game. Good, like. Oh,
yo, I could find you some interesting lineups in Champions League games if we want to do that. I could find you some starting 11s.
He was such a terrorist. Like Alex Ferguson was such a terrorist. Like
I think there were some Yana's eyes thrown out there.
It's the nostalgia of football where people only remember the fantastic, like, oh, we won 4-2, and it was like, oh, we played like that. Or I don't remember the time you won 1-0 against West Brom. Big Sam's Bolton, like.
Oh man.
When I mentioned Peter Crouch, I also was going to throw out Berbatov, but I don't think he was that old. I think he was just bald early, so he just looked old.
Berbatov had a whole head of hair before he left for United, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had like long hair, long
hair and the little like headband on.
Yeah,
it was like
little pony.
No, he had the headband. It was like it's like half his hair was really tight and the other half was like kind of wavy down. Yeah.
Okay, I remember now. Yep,
and like greasy hair. Like,
oh yeah.
Was there a better player on just off the cuff plays than Berbatov?
Yeah, Ibrahimovic.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, yeah. I missed that one. Berbatov is up there. I'm just like, how'd you even think of that? Because he's probably not thinking. He just reacts.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because he never tracks back or does any running, so he has all the time in the world to sit there and think about.
Perfect player for Ferguson.
Yeah. F2 freestyler. That's what he is.
Y'all remember that goal? I think it was the World Cup. Or maybe
over Joe Hart
when the goalie kicked it and Ibrahimovic just got his head in the way and it scored. Like, what the
I don't know specifically what you're talking about.
No, I just remember his bicycle kick and ruining Joe Hart.
That was a friendly though. The bicycle
friendly.
Kick yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. So mine I was pretty sure was in a qualifier or a group stage for Sweden. I was pretty sure of that.
But I'm pretty sure that was the end of Joe Hart's career at Bicycle Cake.
No, it wasn't. Dude, Joe Hart went on to get sacked by fucking Guardiola. That was the end of Joe Hart's career.
I'm saying it started his downfall.
Joe Hart's still floating around our sideline. Okay, calm down.
That's right.
They signed Joe Hart. They signed Joe Hart because they needed one more player to play cricket.
That's right. In the locker room, yes.
In the locker room. They needed one more player to play cricket. Mm-hmm. And you'll just see Regulion just staring at them like, what are they playing?
Yeah. The Latin players had no idea what was going on.
Top 4, Sean? Yes, no?
I think we're... No.
Okay.
Fifth at best, just because of the numbers and the time left. There's only 11 games left. We're 5 out, and I don't see Chelsea, Leicester, or United dropping out of. Nobody's going to make way for us. Is my reasoning. Not that I don't think we could score enough points. I don't think they're getting out of the way.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, we talked. I mean, like Chelsea's run-in or something like that was City, Arsenal, Leicester, West Ham, City, Arsenal, Leicester, or something like that. So I mean, like there are big games still to be played for some of the people in front of you. Yeah, to me it seems like 4th is the spot, and like who is going to drop to 4th and 5th? Like, who's going to be fighting over those 2 spots? Because United and City seem pretty set in their positions. I guess like 3rd might be attainable, but. Okay, so not super confident on top 4.
I think 5th is realistic. I think we could get into European football.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Liverpool first or Arsenal first, Tam dude?
Rock, paper, scissors?
Okay. Liverpool.
Pain.
That was wow.
Pain.
Wow. YouTube is gonna be called Rock, Paper, Scissors this week.
Seeing as how I post the YouTube videos, this YouTube video is going to be posted matchday 27/28. Just so you know.
I think we need to clear out
podcast.
We need to clear out like 9 people. I think.
Yeah, I saw you tweeted about this. Like you were like
9
center back, right midfielder.
Yeah, we need a center back. So basically, Ben Davies. Like I said, the day we signed Ben Davies and Kabak, they're PR signings. All right, like. They were here to appease the fan base. We're never going to actually pay for any of these. We need a center back, a right back, 2 center midfielders, a winger, and a striker. Right? Because fundamentally, in the summer, we tried to move Ox, Shaqiri, Origi, Matip, one item's gone.
Wijnaldum, yeah.
Yeah, and so we fundamentally lost all of these players. It's like the thing was that we didn't lose them, but they kind of were like very close to moves, and this never materialized for whatever reason, or not whatever reason. It's because we wanted too much money for players that were when we should have taken. Like Ox had offers from Wolves that we could have moved them to. For 15 mil, but we for some reason wanted 20 mil, and that was never going to happen.
Yeah,
it was the same for Shaqiri. Like we should have moved Shaqiri to Napoli because Napoli wanted him, right? And there's like several of these transfers we could have done, we just didn't. And now these players just don't want to play. Like you can just look at them and be like, they just don't want to play. Right? This is like this is drill that you do to teach like kids how to like defend as a unit, right? And you basically line up 4 defenders, and then you have 4 players and 2 strikers in there, right? The idea is, if the ball is here, the right back has to press, and then how the rest of the back line reacts to that situation, right? So you like turn your body like sort of diagonally, that way you can cover if somebody runs behind you, and you can see where the other guy is and stuff, right? And it's like, and the way the first round of this drill goes is that ball goes from side to side to side to side to the attacking players, right? Just one pass to each player to the right, and as that player passes, the concurrent defender pushes up, right? Like as a press, right?
Yeah.
And that's literally how Liverpool games are. it's a fucking training drill you teach 9-year-olds. Pass to the side, pass to the side, pass to the side, pass to the side. We never make it to the actual drill. This is just the intro stage of the fucking drill. Right? And you make a pass to the center mid, and then the defender comes up, and he passes to the left, and he passes to the left, and you just keep going in this circle forever.
I think that's an interesting point about players not being able to get up when they're close to a transfer, and then that never materializes. Because, I mean, that happened also with a lot of Arsenal players last summer, is that we had a lot of players that ultimately have now left, but had transfers lined up. And they never materialized, and it's really hard, and especially I feel like if you look at like when you guys were winning, like when you won the Champions League, when you won the league. I mean, it's obvious what I'm going to say kind of sounds cliche, but you guys were a family, and everyone was really close and like willing to like fight and play for each other, and like and then when you kind of get pushed out of that family and say, okay, we're going to move you on. But then that doesn't happen. You have to get pulled back in. Mentally, it's probably really hard to feel a part of that again.
And you can just tell, like some of these like players, like Shaqiri and stuff, they're just not switched on. Like they're just not paying attention to the game that's happening in front of them. They're just drifting from side to side and like whatever. It's not a surprise that the best player this season was 19-year-old Curtis Jones, right? Because he's like, this is his breakout. This is his chance to like seize a spot permanently. Yeah. Right? And so, so he's the only one that tries to do anything, and the rest of them are just drifting by. It's between him, Thiago tries, and he's currently forced to play a position he can't do. Henderson got injured, so that, hurts even more.
But even before that, he's been playing out of position.
He's been playing at center back most of the season.
Yeah.
And so, it's just these, situations. The decline of Genie One Item is probably the most impactful player because he's the only senior most player in the midfield now, and he's the one that doesn't just completely unbothered about everything around him, and so it's just we need a giant clear out and we need a whole host of players. And the unfortunate situation is, in order to fund these, I'm pretty sure Salah is gone in the summer.
Well, a new guilty lineup pleasure because it used to be Xhaka and Mustafi together, and now that's gone for me. So when I look at the lineup, that's what I was looking for, so I can kind of smirk and giggle to myself. And now it's when I see Shaqiri in the lineup because I know TMZ is going to be furious.
He just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. Milner's well past it. He used to make up for his complete lack of footballing abilities by being just an incredible runner. Just a pure athlete. And he was just he'll hound every ball, he'll run up and down wherever you want to. But that's slow. And so I think I pointed out how Fulham gave him acres of space and he just couldn't do anything with it. It is what it is. We got to clear a bunch of players out. We need a replacement for One Item, so we need an all-action midfielder. We need a creative midfielder, somebody that can actually play a line out. Huh?
Let's say link and move the ball forward.
Yeah, like a line pass, closer to the opposition.
Unlock the defense pass.
Yeah, unlock the defense pass. Press triangle, Brad. We need a player who can press triangle. All right, yes. Possibly L1 triangle.
Yes. All right. Wait, I have Xbox. I have Xbox there.
Y. Substitute Y for triangle.
Yeah, Y.
Y. Yeah, I understood what you were saying.
Press Y. L bumper Y.
So it goes high.
Yep. Anyway, we need one of those. We need if we lose Salah, we need two wingers. We need an actual winger, and we need a goal scorer. We need an actual player who can score a goal. That's why I think we're gonna win tomorrow, because Leipzig will. Because these Bundesliga teams never change the way they play. And so, if Leipzig want to come and press us, that's fine, because then we can just lob one over, and it's Salah and Jota running 2v2 on your back line. I'll take that. And then we're going to get clapped by Burnley at home, or away, next when we play them.
Please do.
Asper.
It'll make my my draw against
Burnley. We'll get clapped
better.
by Burnley like the week after. So or like 4 days after. 4 days after, do we play?
No, you play. You play Wolves Monday.
Monday. Okay, we'll get clapped by Wolves. Oh, maybe not. Wolves suck.
And then I feel like there's internationals coming after that soon, which is
we're not sending anybody apparently.
Good.
I don't think any other Premier League clubs are sending anybody. But yeah, those are shambles of the situation.
So I was watching Arsenal this weekend. Not to cut you off, Tamsy, but
you're fine.
I'm going to cut you off.
What is there to talk about?
I was watching Arsenal, and my prevailing thought was league football is always true to your position in the league. In that, like, Arsenal are a 10th place team. Like, they've looked like a 10th place team all year. They have some performances where you're like, man, that was really good. And then they have other performances where you're like, why is Xhaka passing the ball to the center forward in our own 18-yard box?
They did that twice or 3 times, right? Like, that's like the goal kick formation, right? Like, I saw it happen again.
You're saying your league position is not determined by XP?
No, it's not determined by XP. Brad, no, what you're talking about is it's a defensive midfielder showing for the ball. Like, that's a pretty normal, typical thing in football where the goalkeeper, and especially now where football is normally dictated out of the back by the goalkeeper. And so, like, if your center backs go wide and the goalkeeper has the ball, then there's a big hole in the field in front of him. And so generally a defensive midfielder will come into that position to try and receive the ball and then either pass to a center back or pass, forward. And so let's contrast a couple things, right? So on the goal we scored, Partey comes back, does the same thing, comes back, receives the ball from Leno, but he is press resistant, so he just moves past the press, makes an incisive pass to Willian, and then Willian passes to Oba, and Oba scores a goal. I wonder if Willian got another assist. Maybe. Fast forward like 30 minutes later, Xhaka shows for the ball, pass to Xhaka, and
spazzes.
Xhaka not press resistant.
Spazzes out.
To be fair to Xhaka as well, he received the ball coming towards Leno, so his options were limited. And Partey received the ball moving up the pitch, so his options were more. He had more options. But yeah, there's a lot of talk that Leno is at fault for passing the ball to Xhaka, and maybe that's true. But it was such a bad pass. Like, it was like Xhaka's pass was such a bad pass. It was unimaginably bad. Like, he didn't get it past or up over the Burnley player's hip. It was just really bad. And so I don't know. I have a hard time blaming Leno.
I mean, we're not gonna talk about Nicolas Pepe missing a sitter.
Yo,
absolute sitter.
We missed a lot of goals, and this is Arsenal this year. Is that we either spot somebody a goal at the beginning of the game, which seems like we've done for 3 or 4 weeks in a row, or we score a goal and then we fail to convert chances. I was watching the game and my father was down. Again,
that's padding XG. Let's go.
And so we score, and I'm like, okay, good. Feeling good. I'm feeling confident. And then Oba, a couple minutes later, misses one, though it was kind of a half chance with the way the ball fell to him. And then Saka missed a shot, and I was looking at my dad. I'm like, I wonder if this is going to come back to bite Arsenal. It probably will. And then like 25 minutes later, Burnley has the equalizer, and I'm like, oh well, there it is. And so, yeah, so my prevailing thought while I was watching the game was, league position doesn't lie. Like, you can't make an argument to me and tell me that you think that Arsenal deserve to be higher up the pitch, because on the run of play over the course of 38 games, or 28 games at this point, 27 for us, it's undeserved at this point. Arsenal are a 10th place team based on what they've done, and maybe that's kind of a smooth brain take on my part. I don't know.
That's not a smooth brain take. That's the exact thing I said when we didn't get Conte's handball against Chelsea. I was like, after watching 90 minutes of that, you think we deserved anything from that game?
Yeah,
fuck no, we were terrible.
Like Arsenal fans are up in arms about the Eric Peters handball that wasn't called, and it looked like a handball to me. It probably should have been a penalty. For whatever reason, it wasn't given. But that's not the reason why we lost the game.
Yeah, right.
It could have been a reason why we won the game, but that's not the reason why Arsenal didn't win the game. The reason why Arsenal didn't win the game is because we failed to convert chances and we gave away a goal. And if you give a team like Burnley, like we kind of caught Burnley out a little bit. Like they're generally pretty defensively adroit, I would say. Like they're generally pretty stable defensively, and we kind of caught them out with our goal. And then so at that point they have to push forward more. And then if you just give them a goal, well, they can kind of be like, all right, perfect. Like, I'll take 1-1 against Arsenal. And they just kind of go back into their... And if you looked in the second half, we didn't really create too much in the second half. The second half, we were very average. And so, I don't know. Like, my thinking... And, like, I've, of course, been looking at the table and looking at upcoming results. And I'm like, I think Arsenal could take, like, 30-some-odd points out of these last 12 games. I think my number was 31 points when I went through it. And, of course, I was giving ourselves a win with Burnley. And, it's probably, I think that Arsenal are going to finish 9th, 8th, maybe 7th if we're lucky. Of course, I would love for us to, go on a tear and get 33 points over the next 11 games, but not going to happen. So, yeah, it is what it is. Arsenal are what they are, and our league position doesn't lie. So, you guys want to talk about relegation? Fulham, equal on points with Brighton, Newcastle. So, it's funny, like, I thought that when we came back today, after last week, I was thinking that Fulham would be 6 points off both these teams.
Yeah.
And... after when the Fulham Spurs game happened and Spurs got the 3 points, I was like, all right, well, they're not going to get any points this week, and then they get a shock win, in my opinion, away to Liverpool. Probably not. Tanzi probably was expecting it because he's Nostradamus when it comes to these things, and so Fulham and Brighton are equal on points. Of course, Brighton have a game in hand, but Brighton are on 3 losses in a row. So, like, their form is abysmal. And I think they have someone soon that's big game. Okay, they play Southampton at the weekend. For some reason, I thought that they played a Manchester City or something like that soon. Maybe that's Fulham. Yeah, Fulham plays City. Okay, anyway, I digress.
One of my notes was that I might be wrong about Newcastle, but only because Brighton are going to sneak in there instead.
But the thing is,
I can't be wrong. No, go ahead.
You might not be wrong about Newcastle though, because they're only a point over. Like they're on 27 points, and both those teams are on 26 points. So it's not like Newcastle are any like they can't breathe any, like they don't have a sigh of relief here. Like this seems like a race to the bottom for Newcastle and Brighton. What were you going to say, Tamsin?
I can't wait for next season when we get Norwich, Swansea, and Brentford in the league, and that way, and we can finally get rid of Newcastle, Brighton, and Burnley once and for all.
Oh, okay.
Because they're not surviving. The only reason Brighton have been surviving the last 2 years is because the relegation classes for those years were just abysmal. Yeah. Huddersfield was nobody. Fulham the first time around spent 150 million on bang average nothing, and then got sent packing back down immediately. I
think the only reason Fulham are out this year was because of the COVID break, right? Last year they went on a tear afterwards, and
oh my goodness, I cannot wait.
But Norwich does the up and down. That's the Norwich thing the past few years.
Bro, so. This isn't the same Norwich team that you remember from fucking 6 years ago. I know Brad only watches games every 6 years. This is the same Norwich team, all right? This team plays drastically differently, and they have a much more they have a very good recruitment process, And so their recruitment process is actually very, very respectable. And they have the former Borussia Dortmund youth team coach as their head coach, Daniel Farke. And so Norwich next season are going to end up staying up comfortably.
You think kind of like Leeds in that kind of sense?
Yeah.
Maybe not as high as Leeds, but
yeah. Last year, the first time around, their issues weren't tickle or anything like that. It's just they had like a team full of 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They were like 19, 20-year-old kids, and like after a certain point, kids get like disheartened, right? But like now that those same kids, and they kept more or less the same squad. So now that those kids are like more mature about what they have to do, right? They're storming the championship right now. They're like 10 or 12 clear, right? They're going to end up storming their way back up the league, and then they're going to stay. This time they're going to actually stay.
I think it'd be interesting to look at the manner in which you gain promotion and compare that to whether or not you're more susceptible to being re-relegated the next year.
Yeah, actually, there was a point I think Daniel Farke made 2 years ago, or last year, I guess, when they were here, and they were talking about how teams that come up playing attacking football tended to stay, right? They like your Leeds, Bournemouth for several years, right? The team that comes up wanting Swansea, the team that comes in wanting to play ball usually ends up staying because they'll beat Premier League draws too.
Yeah,
like. So they end up staying. Of course, and then teams that come up playing like really ugly ball usually play ugly ball. They can't. There was a point somebody made years ago about how, Tony Pulis will always get you to like 14th in the league. He'll make sure you finish 14th in the championship too. And that's what happened. He's had 2 championship jobs, no promotions.
Yeah.
That's a parasite removed from the fucking league. Thank fuck.
Yeah, I co-sign that 100.
Thank fuck.
There's actually, because they're a bigger club, Villa just got promoted too, and they're also in 9th. So Leeds and Villa both came up, and they're around 10th.
Villa played good ball in the championship. Villa played good ball in the championship.
This is Villa's 3rd year, isn't it?
2nd.
Oh.
They came up last year.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
With Norwich. Yeah.
Yeah,
Norwich.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I thought they were freshly promoted with Leeds and Sheffield.
Last year they narrowly avoided relegation.
Yeah.
But that wasn't their first year in the league. That was their second year last year.
That was their first year in the league. I mean, that was their first year in the league last year. This is their 2nd year.
What was it?
Oh, I think you're okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I know you already know you're right, so you don't need me to reaffirm that you're right.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I know.
Okay.
But Villa also played baller.
I think relegation is going to be really interesting to watch over the next 10 weeks, or probably like 9 weeks, because I think that like 16, 17, 18, I think it's gonna move a lot. I think it's gonna be pretty fluid between these 3 teams.
Whichever one survives is gonna immediately get sent packing next year.
And I didn't mention Burnley, but Burnley's pretty close to them as well.
Yeah, Burnley's pretty close. The only one in that dog pile who's gonna be fine is Wolves.
Yeah, agreed.
The only one in that dog pile that's gonna be fine is Wolves.
Yeah.
Wolves have a nightmarish injury record too. So.
Well, Wolves are 35 points.
Yeah. Can't wait to rob Pedro Neto of them.
Anything you guys want to talk about in regards to European football? You got any slander?
Hey, yo, Will. I just wanted to say that this game is super super predictable. I have 2,300 in a NatWest account that I used to bet on Betfair. It's great.
Did you put money on Porto?
Huh? No, I didn't bet on the Champions League. But I periodically bet on Premier League and Championship games.
Yeah.
when I feel like a team might upset somebody, like I'll put bets in.
When you got the little tickle on the back of your neck.
Yeah.
You notice a pattern.
Yeah. apparently more skilled at pattern recognition. I don't know. I saw in the first leg of the Juventus Porto game, I saw like several instances where Chiesa just bumped into Rabiot, and I was just like, this is amateur. Like this is so pathetic. Like, do you people never play with each other? Like, you don't know, like.
I don't watch enough. I mean, like, if I'm watching Italian football, it's generally
it isn't just about, like, Italian ball, though. It's like, if you've played with somebody long enough, you just kind of know where they're going to be.
Yeah, well, that wasn't my point wasn't about Italian football. My point was, like, generally, like, if I'm going to watch Italian football, I'm generally watching Juventus. But I get the feeling, and Will correct me in the comments, that Pirlo doesn't really have a very set 11 that he prefers.
Vibes manager.
That he's just going off of vibes, or he's picking like a different 11 every week, it seems. And so
he's such a vibes manager. I knew this was gonna happen.
You did call it.
You need to drag that tweet out from last summer.
Yeah, like I just knew this was gonna happen the minute he got like assigned, and I was like, oh well, like he's gonna get sacked. Actually, I have a bet with one of my friends.
I do specifically remember you saying that. You were like, wow, this is when the day they signed him, you were like, wow, this is going to be really sad when they have to sack their club legend because he gets knocked out of the Champions League.
Yeah, I thought Wesley Snipes meme where I was like, they call Pirlo a fraud when he loses to Genoa.
Yeah.
It's just the most obvious thing. And
are we here? Are we here for a Mbappe hat trick tomorrow?
Oh, dude! The fact that both Messi and Ronaldo are out of the Champions League right now, that means the GQ fanboys and the Art of Football fanboys can both fuck off simultaneously.
Wow.
For those that don't know Art of Football, it's this series of compilations where people basically juggle the ball like a seal, thinking that this is how football is. And so, like, you know how like every Ronaldo fan just knows Ronaldo because he was on the cover of GQ, and that's it. And so they're like GQ fans, and they both get to fuck off because it's the most toxic debate ever in the history of the sport, right? And so, like, it's perfect. Like, now we get to enjoy the game for what it is.
I mean, we get to enjoy Bayern Munich steamroll the Champions League again.
Again, yes, right. You know what, Mickey Mouse team.
Well,
no fans.
I was going to ask if we remove. I know this is hard to do for the two of you, but if we remove Liverpool and Chelsea, are we rooting for Lazio? Oh, we're rooting for Dortmund. This half of the podcast, me and James.
What's up?
Are we pulling for Dortmund here?
I'm rooting for I'm actually rooting for Liverpool, and I'll tell you why. Because I want Liverpool to win the Champions League, I want Arsenal to win the Europa League, and I want Tottenham to finish fourth.
Oh no, I think Everton might finish fourth, and that'll be prime.
I'm okay with
that'll
that.
That'll be just peak.
But no, I mean, like, I generally root for English teams when it comes to. I mean, I guess coefficient isn't nearly as important as it used to be. Maybe this is an archaic thought of my own that I should root for English teams because of the UEFA coefficient. But I don't know. Like, I'm clearly the most familiar with English teams. I'm clearly not going to root for Spurs in the that's like I'm not going to root for Chelsea in the Champions League. But I don't know. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Atalanta go on a run. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we've got. I was trying to do some quick math.
I don't even have to root, dude. I just watch these games for pure, truly entertaining. Like,
yeah, of course.
If I get to see a quarterfinal draw between like Bayern Munich and like PSG, that's like gangbusters. Let's go.
That would be good. But no, I'll take I'll take Atalanta. That's who I'll take in the Champions League now.
Everybody gets robbed by Real Madrid, dude.
Yeah, well,
I was just looking through.
Some bullshit and just, oh man, they were getting stomped by Atlanta before that absolute. Ooh, but he touched him in the last match. Did he touch him?
I don't know.
Did he? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so here, goes back to my. You guys were crapping on that Romanian TV van a couple weeks ago. UEFA just has really poor production quality because they refuse to show VAR stuff. They refuse to show the VAR stuff. I was watching the Juve game today, and on all of the goals there was questionable offside. We didn't see any of it. It was just okay. Goal was allowed. Goal was not allowed. And then after the second case of goal, Alvaro Morata jumps over the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper kicked out at him and touched Morata. Yeah. He kicked out at him, and I text my brother, and I say, it looked like he touched him to me, Brad. And I said, that should be a red card. And we don't hear anything of it. It wasn't checked. There was no VAR looking at it. But the goalkeeper clearly kicked out at Morata.
Yeah.
And how is that not a red card?
Morata's a bum.
Okay, that's fact.
How does Morata still get on these teams?
But
I don't understand.
In English ball, if that happens, and maybe it's just like I know that
we get a 9-minute VAR check.
Yeah, Bernd Leno would have been sent off. Guaranteed.
To confirm that there was a touching.
100%.
We get a 9-minute. We get a 9-minute VAR check.
But yeah. Hold on, I'm not even sure that touching is required in violent conduct.
Yeah, it's always attempted violent conduct. Yeah.
If you try and kick somebody in the head and you miss, that's still violent conduct. If you kick out at somebody, you're laying on the ground, someone jumps over you, nowhere near, and you kick out at them, that's violent conduct, right? Anyway, that was I needed to mention that, and you guys were crapping on the Romanian TV van. It's just UEFA. UEFA doesn't want to show the VAR stuff for whatever reason. They just don't want to, so they don't. And you guys need to apologize to the Romanians.
I'm not apologizing to the Romanians. I gotta go play in Romania tomorrow. It's gonna be tragic. Are you kidding me?
All right.
Are you?
Wait, watch this shit.
Is it not?
I had two quick notes about the Dortmund game today.
Go for it, Sean.
One, I had no idea Suso was still running around out here. Two, that was a really interesting transaction with the off-the-line penalty, and then the keeper yells it inches from his face and into Haaland's face, and then they they do the VAR, they bring it back and redo the penalty, and he scores, and he does the same thing to the keeper, and then give Haaland a yellow.
The Sevilla squad chases him around.
Yeah, that too.
That's
which
the
was
best celebration. Put that on Facebook. Have the opposing squad chase you down.
Yeah, but I did find it interesting to see a Suso and a Marco Reus still running around out here getting it done.
Yo, Marco Reus. No, I will not tolerate Marco Reus slander. If Marco Reus didn't have knees made out of fucking wafer bars, he'd be the fucking third best player in the world. After Ronaldo, Messi, he'd be comfortably the third best player in the world.
Hey,
good.
If Santi Cazorla didn't have glass ankles, Arsenal would have won many championships. So
if Arsenal had signed Gonzalo Higuain, they would have won the league. F in the chat, boys. F in the chat.
If a frog had a glass ass, it'd only jump once.
2 weeks in a row.
Oh,
that's the new.
We're trying to squeeze this in every week.
It's the new name of the podcast.
Yes, he is.
I will set up layups.
All right, let's look forward to this weekend. So we have a nice week coming up of regular football. That there's not a smattering of midweek games going into a weekend, and then another smattering of midweek games. City play Southampton tomorrow. I didn't put it on our list just because. Did you guys hear someone asked Pep today in the press conference? He was like, "What did you think about United's 9-0 win over Southampton?" He said, "Oh, we'll beat them 18-0." So he must have picked something up from watching United. In his defense, he said that in jest, in that he was not saying that was a legit result. He didn't actually mean it, but I thought it was a funny comment. But okay, let's look at the weekend. Leeds hosting Chelsea, North London derby. Oh, I apologize for punching my microphone. Rip your ears. Yeah, give me a red card. So Leeds Chelsea, North London derby, and then we got West Ham United going away to Manchester United. A couple trap games though. We got Leicester is hosting Sheffield, Fulham is hosting City, and I put Southampton and Brighton and Hove on the trap game list just because I didn't want to make a different sub grouping for relegation 6-pointers, but that's a relegation 6-pointer. Brad, what excites you about the Leeds Chelsea game? That's a very historic English football game.
It is, and it's going to be a very fun game to watch.
Over the last 20 years, maybe.
I will be definitely waking up early for that game. That game will be fun. I think all four of us will be awake for that one.
I mean,
it's going to be a fun game.
I have young children. I'm always awake early.
So I feel you on that one. But I think that's going to be a great. I think that's pretty soon. I think that's the best game.
Wait, what?
I think my Bamford kit should be in soon.
Brad, did you really just say that Leeds Chelsea is the best game this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, what's the other competition? Arsenal Tottenham, maybe, but a 10th place.
I don't think he's far off the truth. That's going to be a fun game to watch.
Oh yes, but he said best game. North London Derby is miles.
North London Derby is always the most entertaining derby because they both turn into clowns that whole game. Both sets of teams just play like they just forego every piece of tactical advice given and just go kick it as hard as possible. If you kick a player, good. If you kick the ball, even better.
North London Derby is something special, man. And
it's my favorite clown fest every year.
If I'll put it to you this way: if Dyer, Xhaka, and David Luiz are not all on the pitch this weekend, I'm going to be very disappointed.
They will vibes, dude. There'll be Sabeos. There'll be Xhaka. There's going to be Dyer. There might be Winks. Like, bro, the vibes are going to be insane. They're all just going to pass it in a box to each other. Like,
he needs to kick in a Dele Ali just to make it fun. Just a little sprinkle of Ali on top.
No, but Arsenal Spurs is clearly the most fun game of the weekend. Clearly,
yeah, because Leeds are getting smacked.
You think so?
Yeah, Leeds are getting smacked like 3-4-0.
Okay.
I don't know who's going to score all those goals, but I'm here for it.
Bro,
Giroud.
Leeds are getting smacked 3-4-0 because they don't fucking believe in the concept of defending.
Yes.
I don't believe in the concept. Like, Leeds play every minute of the game like it's 0-0.
Yes, they were. They played against West Ham. It was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And they had like 3 or 4 opportunities in the first half, and
spurned them all. To be fair, to be fair, that was the worst Leeds performance I've seen all year.
I was gonna say that.
That was actually bad. Like that was genuinely bad from Bielsa.
Was that worse than the cup exit?
Yeah, them losing games because they fucking gung ho. But this one was just they just looked either tired or utterly bereft of ideas. One or the other, but it was just not a good performance. Like normally the Leeds performance is still fun to watch. I mean, like if they had like Vardy instead of Bamford, they'd be winning this league.
Well, Rafinha had a good game yesterday, I thought.
Do you think this was the Bielsa wall though? Like they're just tired.
What are these cliches you're talking? What is a Bielsa wall, Brad?
Brad went on Reddit one morning and he found out about the Bielsa wall.
A couple of times, sir. I get on Reddit.
United West Ham is going to be an interesting game too.
He's Bielsa ball. He's Mourinho always plays defensive. He's got a bucket full of Reddit cliches.
Well, I am the Reddit guy here. Scrolling.
Yeah, Sean, tell me more about United West Ham.
I'm just really excited for this game.
Wait,
I knew I'd get a laugh out of James Dean on that.
Who's home for this one?
United. It's at Old Trafford.
But that didn't matter.
Oh.
I thought that didn't matter.
No, I was gonna make a joke about Jesse Lingard turning Old Trafford into his dance floor.
Oh, he can't play.
He can't
play. That's why I went. I realized he can't play at all. Womp womp womp. Could have got some Jay Lings memes out of this.
Peep the note, Brad. Peep the note.
It's not me.
Anyway.
It wasn't me.
Anything else you guys want to talk about today?
No, the other games are going to be boring.
I think Southampton, Brighton, and Hove could be interesting just because
Brighton's losing.
They're both pretty dross right now. Dross. but
gross.
Yeah, I was having a moment.
Fulham City's going to be a snoozer. Sheffield's going to be a snoozer.
Yeah. Well, the
best thing they could do is put that at 7:30.
Leicester Sheffield could be interesting from a Leicester perspective. Like Leicester could score 4, like that could be interesting. But
yeah, Sheffield's getting spanked.
Annihilated.
Yeah, they're getting annihilated,
destroyed. All right, well, that's it. The man in the blue to my left. That's at KS Brad G. Sent him Werner memes on the Twitters. At Whiteheart Sean, right below me, that's Sean. Diagonally, that's at Firmino's Dentist. I'm at James Tiffany. Follow us at redcard_radio. Oh, excuse me, it's Whiteheart _Sean, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, make sure I get that right. So we are collectively at redcard_radio. Catch us on Twitter. YouTube, of course, if you're watching this, then you already know we're on YouTube. Tell your friends, share it, give it a like, give us some comments. I'm sure that we'll have some lively conversation in the comments this week.
Share if your team got spanked by Porto.
Hey, Sean, I found another team that hasn't lifted a cup since 2008.
Tell us, Brad.
The Detroit Red Wings last won Stanley Cup in 2008. So,
if you're a hockey pod,
if you're a hockey fan, you can commiserate with Sean.
Thank you.
I guess we can send this now. Now we're a hockey podcast. We can send it to all of our hockey friends.
We're a hockey podcast.
Emily, get this in the hockey circles. Appreciate it.
Yep, there we go. There we go.
Anyway, catch us. This was our look at the Premier League after match day 27 and 28. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks.